Okay, skull fucked. We have the legendary Dying Fetus, their debut album from 1996. No bullshit, we're just getting right into it. This is the album that basically changed the entire game for brutal death metal. If it weren't for Suffocation, Internal Bleeding, bands I've mentioned previously, this group of fellows definitely put their own city on the map. And Dying Fetus is a band that has still been going after 30 years. That's a long time for a fetus to be dying. The fetus in question, that's so stupid. The fetus in question is none other than John Gallagher. He basically is this band. They've gone through many lineup changes. They've gone from being a 5-piece to 4 to 3 to 4 back to 3. And at the current lineup, Gallagher's still the head of it. You know, whether or not he's bald or he's got his long hair, his signature vocals, his hasn't changed. It's insane. I mean, dude, he's been playing consistently since the 90s, and he don't stop. And I want to show you guys, I'll show you the vinyl, but this was the lineup at the time of this album being made. You have Brian Latta, which I don't know which albums he was on after this. Might have only been this one. You have Rob Belton on drums, Jason Netherton, of course, on the bass, and John Gallagher on guitar and vocals. Little did you know, I mean maybe, but possibly not, Gallagher was a drummer for a very short time. Before, I just got a little battery, that's bullshit. Before this album came out, he was a drummer on the demo, so that was a very short-lived thing. He's not proud of his drum work, but hey, I like it. I think he was actually not bad. But the record, this was really hard to find at one point. It was basically only on picture disc, so it was not very good quality for the sound. And then also, the price was ridiculous. And in the previous years, Relapse reissued it, which was a blessing. And I don't think this is the most limited version, but this is the one that I picked because I thought, dude, that splatter is pretty sweet. Usually I'm not one for colored vinyl. I actually prefer black, as I've stated before. You can more easily tell if anything's wrong with it, but obviously if you can tell by my copy, I take good care of my stuff. So, this band really hasn't changed their image a whole lot throughout the years. You got Spider Jesus featured behind me. And that's really, it's quite telling. Basically, the artwork depicts different generations of war. And the album being titled Purification Through Violence, they definitely talk about some violent stuff on this album. But one of my favorite lyrics is from Blunt Force Trauma, and it's very silly, but it's, grab another picture, boss, another. If you understood that, kudos to you. This band, as I'm trying to get the record back in the jacket, this band is important, man, and you need to see them live. You need to see them live. They're doing a tour this year, and I'm making this video in light of the fact that I'll be seeing them for the 4th time pretty soon. I look forward to that on 4/20. And with the pot-smoking themes of this record, I have to go over how I actually found this album. And it was, I don't remember the year. It was probably 2020 or 2021. But it was like 11 o'clock at night, sitting on the couch, going through YouTube as one does, as you yourself might be doing currently, smoking a bowl, and I saw this, and it was in my recommended, and I don't remember what I was listening to at the time, but I very swiftly clicked right off of it, and went to this, and then I was changed. I became a man. It definitely shifted everything, because I had already found Suffocation at that point, and probably a few other BDM essentials, although I didn't know Dying Fetus yet. I'd only gotten exposed to them once, and it was through watching the Wrong One to Fuck With music video. And I really liked it, but I think by that time I wasn't quite ready for the brutality. I wasn't down with it yet. I wasn't, you know, my feet weren't that deep in the muddy waters. And at this point, when I found this debut record, I figured, okay, if we have such a strong start, I gotta just check out the rest of their albums. And from there on, it became a very quick addiction. And there's a reason why I have 8 Dying Fetus albums on vinyl. I would like to have them all, including, what was it? Something with Malevolence. Infatuation. Infatuation with Malevolence. They just put that on vinyl for the first time last year. The original cassette and CD are ridiculously priced at this point. If I find it, I find it. But I have a digipack somewhere over here, which suffices for now. But this is a band that I think deserves every little bit of praise it gets, and you'll definitely be seeing more from me, because I got a lot to say about this band. I even have the shirt, but it's not featured today. It's sitting in my closet, but Dying Fetus is a band that should not be slept on by anyone, and I honestly think this is one of those groups that you could introduce someone to death metal with. If you got a newbie friend or a coworker or whatever, and they just think like Dying Fetus is literally Cannibal Corpse and they have no idea what else. Bro, Cannibal's great. I love Cannibal, but I love Dying Fetus way more. Way. So push them down the rabbit hole and see how they enjoy it, because Dying Fetus is a band that is, I mean, they're everything that that death metal stands for. They have the violent lyrics, they have the incredibly low vocals, they have the really technical guitar work, and the drums are just, it doesn't matter who they had as a drummer, because all of them were good. Though, the drummer that they had on Destroy the Opposition, probably my favorite. I don't have all their names memorized. This is a band that, if you actually look into it, they've had many lineup changes, so when I do my future recordings, I will probably have to read off which members were in the band at that given time, because John Gallagher, hint hint, the fetus in question, he's the only constant. He came up with this band when he was in high school. Came up with the name while he was in high school. Here he is now in his 50s, and it never changed. He kept that name, so must have been a good one. It definitely provokes some curiosity or some disgust, or maybe a little bit of both, and that will definitely intrigue most people to at least look into it. So if you don't know this album and you think you like death metal, I don't know where you've been. It's about time to check it out. The 1996 debut, Purification Through Violence. Stay metal, my friends.